Hello and welcome to oorail. In this video we're going to show you how to put together this oil slick effect on your Molleroy. So once you've got it ballasted and the track weathered and maybe some additional detail like the track subsidence pins here, the next thing to do is to, if you're, especially for modeling the diesel era like we are, you'll want to put in some oil slicks. And so this is actually leading into a station eventually, so we have a fair amount of oil deposited here. Now there's two techniques you can use. Here you can see this ballast has been down for a while, so it's pretty well stained. And the way we did that was we just took standard black enamel paint, actually, or acrylic paint. I think I used acrylic paint for this particular task. And some Q-tips or cotton buds or whatever you want to call them, depending on what part of the planet you're from. So it's actually quite simple. You just go ahead and dip this directly into the black paint, get it to soak up, and then you basically just roll it back and forth over the sleepers. And the second type of effect you can do, if you look at some of the photos, and we'll put some examples up on the video, sometimes when ballast has been recently placed, the sleepers themselves will have the black stain, but because the ballast is new, there won't be very much staining on the ballast at all. So what we're going to do in this particular section here is we're just going to do exactly that. And we'll have a couple of photos where one track looks pretty much like this, and then the other track has actually been recently ballasted. So the actual sleepers will have the black grime on them from oil and brake dust and so on, but won't actually have much of it between the sleepers. Now there can be some between the sleepers, but we're going to try to avoid doing as much as possible. As you can see here, the track has been weathered to kind of a brownish kind of color, brownish grayish color. So when we start to put the black there on the sleepers, you'll see that it'll create some definition. So as you can see here, what we're doing is just rolling it back and forth. So put it in there and just rolling it back and forth, and it might be easier to see it here. You see the Q-tip. Try not to touch the rails too much. And luckily the Q-tip will soak up enough of the paint, and you can just do this randomly. It doesn't have to be in any particular pattern. Just rolling it back and forth, and you can see we've done this whole section here, from here up to here, and we're still going with a single Q-tip or cotton bud. And you just keep rolling back and forth. And now if I wanted to do this like this one, I would just simply roll it back and forth this way instead. But since I'm just trying to go for the sleepers here, and you can see it, you will get some on the ballast, but it's pretty easy to maintain it like this. So, and once you've done this a bit, it becomes pretty easy to do kind of quickly. And even if you mess up, usually it doesn't look that bad. So it's pretty difficult to mess up. And it's a pretty useful technique. So hopefully you find that useful. And here you can see the two different techniques side by side. The one on the top just has the sleepers painted. There's a little runoff in between, but not a whole lot. And you can see the track subsidence pins in between the two. And then the bottom one has it rolled parallel with the with the rails to create a dirtier effect. So, like I said, the bottom ones run parallel with the rails. Top ones run perpendicular to the rails or parallel with the sleevers. And we did this whole section on top with just 3 Q-tips. And when it dries out, it'll actually look a little grayer like the bottom one. And so you just let this dry for about 24 hours, and then you should be able to run your trains back on it.